All right, I'm sharing the screen. And we stopped, I think we finished this sentence. Just before we proceed, we didn't discuss this Kyrios Ipin. Do you have any ideas? What does it qualify? So properly speaking, what does it refer to? No ideas? Anyway, I will just pose this question because I think it's better to talk about it when we transition to chapter 2. But just I would say in advance that in my view, it refers to theophanies. No, I don't remember how we translated this word, but divine apparitions or something like that. So, so the thought is that intelligible God namenesses are providing an optics, so to speak, optical uh, uh, tool for contemplation of divine appearance, properly speaking, as distinguished from the previously mentioned wings and feet and arms, this kind of thing. And the question is, why could the author possibly think so, right? But we'll come to this later. I just want to alert you to this issue. So as I remember, Oliver was reading last, right? No? Father Cole was reading last?
I think he took over for me because I had not read quite this far.
Okay, then please take from here. Ke ota yera.
Kai hota hiera tais ton hieron theonumion anaptuxesi parathometha pois hagiois ta hagia kataten thean paradosin any druantes kai ton amuston autag eloton kai empagmon exairumenoi. Malonde autus ecenus e per holos esi toiode tines anthropoi tes epi tuto theomachias apolutrumen. So let us bring holy ears to the unfolding of the divine namenesses, the holy to the holy.
I'm sorry, I lost my audio for some reason. Just a second. I'll try to fix it. Say something. Please say something now.
So
toys. Oh no. Oh, okay. Now I heard you.
You hear me now? Okay.
No, right. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. So I was at. So I'll just repeat it. Let us bring holy ears to the unfoldings of the holy namenesses, the holy to the holy, concerning the divine transmission, establishing, I think this is probably better to translate to something like, let us establish.
Well, the hortatory
Right.
is parathomos, let us um,
Bring.
bring or give or apply our, holy ears, not holy ears, but then any this, I think, requires an object. So what might this object be? I think we should decide first on this question, and then after that maybe improve a little bit on this clause kata tinthean paradosin. So kata, what would this mean? But let's leave this out for now. Let's think of any three on this. What would be the object of it?
Um,
Well, perhaps it would make sense to rephrase the meaning of any three on this, right? Any three,
establish.
yeah, establish roughly, to place in establish, right? Roughly, yeah, that's what Lampe gives actually, but uh, mm, other translations, um, right, settle, yeah, establishes good. But the question is, we need the object for it because establish is a transitive verb, right? And
Right.
it's transitive. If it's transitive in English, it should be transitive in Greek. Otherwise, we should translate it differently, right?
Right.
So what could be the candidate, right? Candidates. Father Cole, any ideas?
I think ta'agia makes the most
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, I agree. Tai,
Uh,
it's a great candidate.
I see.
Yeah, and then what we do with tis are ye's, which is dative. Just a prompt, and here it's a preposition, but it as a prefix, and so by its semantics, by its meaning, it goes well with the dative. So this apparently, right? So given this, there are all reasons to think that there's a double, that two objects. One is direct object, ta here, and indirect object in the dative, which kind of corresponds to this prefix n. So, so what would you make of it with
Maybe
this in
attributing,
contributing?
attributing,
Oh, attribute. No, stay with establish.
establish,
Yeah,
establishing the holy things in the holy things.
you're right. Exactly. Yes, yes.
But it's not in the holy things. It should be in the holy men. No?
Well, you see,
In holy
that's
ones.
in the holy ones, but what are these holy ones? You see, this expression,
Mm.
uh, um, tis agis tagia, it's taken from Byzantine liturgy, actually,
Oh.
and it's pronounced before how it's called in English, before the rite of uh, I forgot the technical term, the change of
The consecration.
consecrations of the gifts, right? So the meaning is that the gifts which are called tahia should be given to the holy people, right? Here, of course, it's the meaning is somewhat changed, and it's agree on this, right? So it's a bit mysterious, but the allusion is obvious. Yes, it's you are right, Father Cole, that it's in the liturgical expression, which is alluded here. Tis aegis would be to the holy man, right? And that kind of corresponds to the order. The holy men and women or holy people are those who are admitted to communion, which are initiated. And it squares well with what follows. So let's and then katatin thean paradosin. Um, you how did you translate kata, Oliver? Can
I
you
think I said concerning, but maybe it should be following,
right following or based upon? Yes,
based
yes.
upon the divine
Uh,
teaching or transmission.
well, tradition, transmission is closed, but it more reminds me of a car engine, stuff in the car. But it's called tradition usually. To give, the root is dosin is giving, right? So paradosin. Yes. Okay, so let's continue then, Oliver, with. mm,
And to and removing or having removed these things uh from the laughter and mockery of the uninitiated.
Yes, yes. These things after refers to what?
I thought it was the same as tahagia,
Exactly. Yes. That's my opinion. I agree with you. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
but rather um,
Uh, or rather, well, here,
or
there, I understand. Or rather. Mm-hmm.
or rather um, Truman. This is the word for buy back, right? This is redemption. So, but rather redeeming.
Well, in this, redeeming is too theological. Take more kind of rescue. Rescue would be, I think, a better. It's not. I don't think he's talking about salvation right away uh, of those uninitiated, right?
Right. Okay, so to rescue, but rather rescue these latter um
Or those themselves. That's intensive. Ik- Aftus equinus, those people themselves. So aftus.
okay,
Mhm.
those people, or rather to rescuing those people themselves. uh is it even if, is that a good translation for
Yeah, no, no. Uh, yes, even not even if, but if indeed, per is intensifying. Just if indeed,
if indeed some men, some such men, if indeed uh holy
well, at all,
at
with this,
all. I see. Oh, I see. That's the meaning of it here. If indeed there are such men at all.
yes, some such man, tines, some such man at all. Yes, that's parenthetical.
So
Uh,
rescue Aftus Akinos um, from the war against God.
Right, epituto. Epituto, uh, how to best translate it? Is it in Suchla? Yes. Uh, um,
In this
wh-
matter or something
yeah,
like
in this matter, yes, yes. I think let's. I'm curious what our friend Lila makes of this. Yeah, it's uh, uh, well, he's yeah, maybe he says against God, but let's uh, a P with dative. Can it be adversary? I'm not sure. I can't recall. So let's look. A P with dative. Um, uh, okay, against. Yeah, it can. I think Lampus says. Well, no. Yes, I think it. He means well, some genitive. Yeah, it can probably. I don't recall it in classical meaning of it. Just to see. Mm, oh, in
Yeah,
hostile against. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
it's
yes. Yeah, epituto. So now, so he translates against God, but I don't see.
well, the meaning of theomachia in Lampe is war against God.
Okay, so it probably takes this root from theomachia. Uh, okay, so implied God. Okay, all right. Uh, that's good. So you see, here again, to return to this liturgical reference. So in Byzantine liturgy, there's a clear-cut division. Probably, I don't know what about Latin liturgy or mass, but there's a clear-cut division. There's a point where it says catechumens depart. In other words, people who, up to a certain point, people who are not baptized yet can attend and listen, but at some point they are to depart, and then only initiated, namely baptized, are admitted. But here he plays, on, of course, on the parallel with the so-called pagan mysteries, where also there are initiated and uninitiated. Uh, okay. Um, any questions? If not, then a further call, please.
Simen un tafta phylaxe chreon, o kale Timote, katatin hierotatin iphigisin ke mite rita mite ekropha tatia poin istus miitus. So it is necessary then for you to observe these things, O dear Timothy, according to the divine guidance. And
Most divine. Okay, but that's
okay, the superlative, yeah.
mm.
According to the most divine guidance, and to make them spoken, neither to make them spoken nor disseminated among the uninitiated.
But them, I think, tathia, divine things, right?
Ah, yes, I missed that. Yeah, not, and to make the divine things neither spoken of nor disseminated. Well, spoken of because it's not passive, but
Right, Rita. Let's see what. Mm,
well, it says stated, specified.
yes, proclaimed. Yes. Uh, and ekphora has a technical meaning also from the language of the mysteries, to be divulged. Yes, of course, the root in the English is vulgus, so profaned, spoke.
Outside of the temple, yeah.
Right, outside. Well, not so much outside of the temple, but out uh, to by being communicated to those who are initiated. It was a great crime in ancient Greece, and people were punished by death, even as far as I remember, for this. But right, so here. Uh, so istus anitus. So being these divine things. Well, I'm not sure what would be the better English, but at least the best I can come up is to just to the to uninitiated. Rita, or in the midst of.
Amongst, yeah.
Yeah, amongst, yes, yes. Okay, any questions? If not, then Oliver, please.
Emoi de doe ho theos theoprepos unesai tas tes akletu kai akatonomastu theotetos agathurgikas polu onumias kai me rieloi logon aletheas apo tu stomatos mu. So may God grant me to celebrate in a manner befitting God. I guess agathurgikas I take as something like beneficent or benevolent.
Beneficent, yes, it's very good. Yeah.
Beneficent, many names, many namenesses.
Yes, yes, very good.
Of the uncalled and nameless divinity.
Yes, unnameable, yeah.
Unnameable. And do not remove the word of truth from my mouth.
Right, right. Yes, note that the namenesses themselves here are called agothurgikas, affecting good. So there is a trend in interpretation which takes these divine namenesses as energiae, just energies, activities, which is in most cases is not supported by the text. So the people who want to pursue this interpretation, most of their references really, if you look at them, they are not sound. The text doesn't support it. But one place possibly which would support such an interpretation is this. So where names themselves are called, not the names. So he is as if he's speaking not of the names of activities, but names themselves being the activities. See, in the Church of Russia, there was a movement of the divine name venerators, and the major point they were making, and they still continue, that the name of God is God, which sounds a little strange, but one of the texts they refer is one of the major sources is Dionysius, or this corpus of this text, and they, well, just you may consider this. Well, of course, that's connected to the practice of prayer, of the spiritual tradition within Eastern Orthodox Church, which is called hesychasm. You can Google it. All right. Let's continue then. Father Cole.
So chapter 2, regarding the oneness and separateness of theology, and what may be the divine oneness and separateness.
Well, it's not from Esti, it's just an article. Hey, and what is also diakekrimenis and inomenis, they are adjectives, right? So about united, not united, well, unified, or and well, how I can find the good English equivalents, but it's bracketed anyway, so not.
Oh, okay. So it's supplied by an editor.
Yeah, it's contained. Well, double brackets are very rarely occur, and frankly, I even forgot what they mean. It's an editorial mark. I think it means that it was. You see, single brackets indicates that the editor has deleted it, but double brackets, as far as I recall, means that some scribes have deleted it. I'm not sure. Yeah, it should be looked up. But
yeah, I remember that we spoke about this in the last session, but I don't remember the distinction either between the two brackets.
All right. Yeah, but they're kind of uncertain as to their belongings to the text. Let's go to the text itself.
Tin thiarchikin holin iparxin otipotestin I autoagathotis aphorizusa ke ekphenusa proston logion imnite. Well, what is the subject? He auto agathotitos.
Right. Agathotis.
Yeah. The that's like the good in itself, or the absolute good.
Yeah, the good as such, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. The good the good itself is
the goodness, rather, the goodness.
Oh, the goodness itself. Whatever it may be, whatever it is praised. Aphorizo, I have Markov by boundaries, so like defined maybe.
Yes, define, or even better. Let's see. Maybe there is a better way.
No, but it's not passive. So
yeah, it's active. It's not defined. It's
defining or
defining. Yes, delineating. Maybe something.
Determining.
Yes, determining. Yes.
Okay. So the determining and
maybe distinguish even better.
So the distinguishing and manifesting goodness itself is praised according to the writings as the substance of the whole substance of the Godhead.
is well, but you need what is the object of this participle aphorisous kemphanus?
Mm.
They need object. And I think there's only one candidate. Oliver.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only accusative
Yes,
phrase.
yes.
Um,
So I think we need to restructure our
okay.
understanding. Okay.
So the supreme goodness itself determines and manifests the whole substance of the Godhead, or the supreme goodness itself, whatever it may be, manifests and determines the whole substance of the Godhead according to the divine writings, and has been praised.
it's close.
Oops.
Yeah, it's close. But you see, hymnita is the indicative mood. So the
Yeah.
participles they qualify. It is.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Has been praised as determining and as manifesting according to the writings the whole substance of the Godhead.
Right, right. And I think hotipotestin refers to this not to the goodness, but
No, to the Godhead,
yes,
the
to
whole
the
substance.
hyparxin.
Mm.
Yes. Uh, so it's a little bit surprising transition, right? So why would he say that? But let's discuss this after we read at least to a little bit further. But for now, yes, it's interesting what he says. So it's aphorismus, but it's not in the sense that saying what it is, but somehow that's why I think distinguishing and manifesting ekphanusa. And what he says, it is in this capacity that it is praised by the oracles, the goodness, as revealing the whole. That I just give it away a little bit. That all in is the key word here, which is might be a little bit lost somewhat, right? Because it's just an adjective, but that's the whole point of what he is talking about here, in my view. But let's continue. Oliver, please.
Haiti gar allo mathen estin ectes hieras theologias, opotan thesi ten thearchian autein, uphegumenen epein, time erotas peritu agathu, udes agathos, e me monos hotheos.
Mm-hmm.
Or what else is there to learn?
Oh, it's possible to learn. So estin with infinitive is possible, or
Possible.
mm-hmm.
Okay, what else is possible to learn from the Holy Theology when they say,
Well, not they, it's singular, physi.
oh, I'm sorry. When he says,
Well, I think let's think what or who might be the subject. Father Cole, any ideas?
I think it's the well, it's the hieras theologias that declares
Yes,
this,
yes,
right?
theologia, right? Because yeah, well, it
oh,
personifies theologia, but remember that theologia means here quite literally logos about God, namely Scripture, Holy Scripture. So theologia, it's not some academic,
Treatise or something. Yeah.
science, right? Which you get give a you get a PhD or something. No, it's just
Logos.
literally logos about God, which is where you find it in the scripture, right? So, so it is the subject. So when it says, and then, of course, indirect discourse, right?
And it says that the divinity itself instructs.
Right. The divinity itself, humanin. What part of speech it is?
A participle.
Yeah, participle. So you need a verb, which is, of course, must be.
Instruct or instructed.
Well, in the indirect discourse, the verb is in what form? Because it says what follows is indirect discourse, right?
Right. So it says, oh, well, I thought I took it as it says the divinity itself instructs when it says.
Well, right. When it's okay, divinity itself, actually, here, well, better translated here because it's not. It's a very, very special word, I would say, in Dionysius. Here itself says as it teaches or while teaching humanin. Remember, we looked it up in German dictionary, which is I think the middle voice of this verb. It has this meaning in Byzantine Greek. So yes, as it says while instructing or while teaching, right? So.
Why do you ask about? Why do you ask me about the good? Nothing is good if not God alone.
Well, strictly speaking, no one,
No
right?
one. Sorry, no one is good.
And this is idiomatic imi monos. It's except God. Imi or monos, so except God alone, right? So that's quotation from Matthew. You probably know that's in Luke and Mark. This
The rich young man.
Yes, that's about rich young man in any case, but the meaning is very different in Matthew, as distinguished from Mark and Luke, and he here relies on the version which is in Matthew. But anyway, what is now? It brings us here. I would like to uh, say. Actually, I read it in Aquinas's commentary. I recommend it to you. It's actually a great. Well, it's actually now it's appeared in English, although it's not maybe not. It was published in 2021, English translation of his whole commentary. But he has an interesting thought that brings us back to this question: why it's Kyrios Ipin? So now, how Kyrios Ipin is related to his transition to intelligible God namenesses, right? So Aquinas has a very, I think, helpful insight here that uh, mm, the divine names uh, which the author discusses in this treatise, they are not all possible divine names. Because remember, it was said in the beginning of section 7 that because it's pandon atia, right? It's cause of everything. So it can, any name, panda taton ondon onomata, uh, uh, aphormosi. So all names of all things that exist suit it, right? Because they're all created by it. And then he was adding that it is named all things, but we were coming to it several times as hetos. And I want to stress this interpretation in the scholium that in a way that none of none of created things has a hold on it, right? So one can say one can call it by name of anything, even like uh, some dung or very, very kind of low thing, and so far but one shouldn't say that it is this, but not that. It is a stone, but it's not a tree, or it is this stone, but not that stone. Otherwise, we call it idolatry, right? That's what idolatry is. You make it, you make one created thing, you allow it to have a hold on divinity. So here he says ascetos, right? But uh, Aquinas thinks that um, that he bases on his this conclusion on this whole first chapter. Uh, in the first chapter, he already referred to his previous treatise, which theological, what's essays or something. And Aquinas believes that was about the names of the uh, of uh, divine persons, which are peculiar. Names are peculiar to each person. The Father is not the Son is not the Father, and these are each of the. So there are names which mark out different persons, and assumedly, the author has treated, whether in reality or just in kind of virtual reality of he he is done with that. Then also, on the other hand, there are these names of created things which were mentioned in section 8 in particular, right? Where all this feet and wings and fire, but the these names which shouldn't none of which should be made in referring to an idol. One shouldn't make an idol of any of the things designated by these names, but what is common to them is that God is named from them symbolically or metaphorically, and that and he already said that he will deal in Symboliki Theologia, another treatise which we don't have, so uh, it's real or virtual, whatever. But he so he the author dispenses himself with the task of dealing with this kind of names here, right? Also, we have another short treatise by him, Mystical Theology, which deals with referring to divinity by denying all things, and that's also a separate thing. But what is dealt with here are not which and what he calls intelligible God namenesses are the names, not the names which we apply from creatures to God, but the name which we apply from God to creatures. And that's, I think, a great insight, and it's confirmed by this sentence because we it sounds quite plausible that no one is good except God alone. In other words, we know what is good, not we wouldn't know because good is only intelligible, right? There is nothing in sense perceptible reality shows goodness as such, right? It's something we understand by the mind. And the implication is that we would never know what is good if we didn't have this somehow insight, somehow um, uh, if we didn't see in in things created some reflection or some image of the goodness which properly belongs to God alone, because one could never say no, nothing is a rock except God alone, or nothing is a fire except God alone, right? It doesn't make sense to us. But no one or nothing is good except God alone makes sense, and that's the line of thinking here. Uh, all right, so okay, does it make sense? Oh, I don't know. You can check out this Aquinas's commentary. I think there may be more insights there. All right. Okay, so who is now Oliver turn, right?
I think it's Father Cole's turn.
Oh, Father Colton. Okay, sorry.
Tufto men un que en alis exetesten imin apodedicte to passas ei tas theoprepis eponimias umericos
Theonymius.
Okay, sorry, I was reading my other edition.
Oh, Zuchla says
yeah, sorry.
eponymies.
Okay, because it's just on a smaller screen here. Okay. Theonymias umericos alepiti solis que pantelus que olocliru que plirus theotitos hypo ton logion imniste que passas aftas ameros apolitos apar tiritos olikos apaciti olotiti tis olotellus que passis theotitus anatiteste. Okay. So this, in fact, has been demonstrated and is examined well to us in other places.
Well, this is a passive participle, so
has been demonstrated having been examined well.
Yes, as was demonstrated. Um, so it's parenthetical clause, but it is in opposition to tutor. Yes, tutor also elsewhere examined has been demonstrated by us.
Has been demonstrated by us, yeah, not
so he
to us.
Well, in this I think Zuchla's punctuation is different, but on Lila's punctuation he I think he follows this un, therefore. So he believes that he already has demonstrated, but now just gives a resume or summary of what has been demonstrated by him. In Zuhla, I think it's different punctuation, right? So, but right, she has not so many commas, but well, that's a subtle point. Let's proceed to the core of this.
Okay, so for it, where was I? For it is always celebrated.
Well, where do you have for?
I just inserted it as a way of making a
No,
connection
no.
between.
You just put a mental column here. So because what follows is how it's called, infinitive clause. So namely, so tutor namely,
Ah,
and here how it's called, that's the subject is infinitive. So in other words, to translate it, you need to make, I think in English, the only palatable way is to make it into indicative mood, right? That, so for instance, where's this first hymniste, that, namely that ta 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 was praised, God bless you, is praised. So so literally it would be namely the being praised of ta 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 ta, right? So to imniste. So to imniste would be in opposition to tuto.
right.
Mhm.
Okay, so namely, it is praised. It is always praised in all of the God suitable. Well, eponymias. I like.
Well, you see this accusative, so it should be direct object of imniste. So
Okay, it is praised. It is always praised.
no, the God namenesses are always praised.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was wrong. So all of the suitable for God namenesses are always praised, not in part, but according to the whole, and Pantalus is like absolute or complete, and entire and full
Yes,
divinity in the oracles, in the, I suppose, in the scriptures.
right.
And okay, pasas altos amenos, and where's the second verb? And
Ana
are established,
attributed,
attributed,
antithesis. Yeah.
and okay, and all of them themselves.
No, they all, aftas here just a pronoun, how it's
Right.
called.
And they all
Mhm.
are attributed indivisibly, indissolubly.
Well,
And
absolutely. Well, that is Latin word here is so tempting to use because it has exact.
literal, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so indivisibly, absolutely, apar aparatiritos. LSJ is not very helpful with that one.
There should be. Did you try Lampe?
Not observed without precautions.
Yeah, unreservedly, I would say.
Okay. Unreservedly and wholly to all the wholeness of the complete to all the wholeness of the completeness of the whole and entire divinity.
Right, right. So, what do you think? What is this? The point here? What is the force of this point? What he's making here? Oh,
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, I guess, is distinctions between the persons. But he's talking about how the names in Scripture apply entirely to the entire divinity, without exception,
yes, yes,
without distinction.
yes, and
So,
that's exactly how Aquinas takes it. By the way, right, right. That's although so. But there's also another, I think, way to take it. Oliver, do you have any ideas of this meaning? Uh, I think one can take it. You see, with the previous when he was saying ascetos about the symbolic names, there was the danger of idolatry, namely that something created would take one created thing would take exclusive possession of or claim on divinity. Here, he, I think, uh, addresses another danger. One way to take it, as Father Cole said, with Aquinas, which is makes sense given it, right, that one shouldn't limit them to this or that person of the Trinity. Another is just say, like in uh, well, talking of humans, say when we say someone is good and wise, right? So goodness is one aspect of the person. Wisdom is another aspect, different, right? And so, and also, and and this person is also just. So justice is one more facet. So this person has many facets, and one may say many parts, but God has no parts. So I think that wards off, if it's possible to say in English, this danger of that plurality of name, this name which are intelligible, those symbolic or metaphorical names, they are
that's one category, but this is another category.
yes, there's the danger of idolatry. Here's the danger of thinking of God of consisting of different facets or parts, and then he wants to block this way of thinking. And I think this is why he uses this
As if you
word.
could, sorry, as if you could think that there's one part of God that's just and one part that's good, and they might
Exactly.
perhaps contradict one another in some way or in
Right.
some
Even if
instances.
they not contradict, then still
But
this
simply to
accept.
distinguish them is not correct. Yeah.
Right, right, because that would make God not simple. That would destroy the simplicity of God. And so this way of taking them as facets, different facets. No, he wants to completely exclude this way of thinking. And I honestly, this a little bit bold on my part, but I think that's why he uses this seemingly nauseous a string of expression, olatelus, pasis, and here pantelus, olokliru. So I think it's not just Byzantine kind of Baroque rhetoric, but I think he hints that he wants to show, look, there are many words which are different, but they mean basically the same. So in God, likewise, the goodness and wisdom, in God they mean the same, because God is simple, or rather not God, but fair here, because God is, for him, is already a lower level. Yes. Any questions about this? All right, so we need to stop here, but
Well, lots of questions, but they can wait for next time.
right, or you can send them out in email to us. I would be happy to discuss it. Okay. All right. Okay. Where is the? Okay. So bye for now.
Have a good week.